It's been 107 days since Sushant Singh Rajput was found dead in his Bandra home, and now the truth of his demise may finally be revealed very soon. The AIIMS team has submitted its report to the CBI. This happened last evening. Sources say that the report is inconclusive. Senior officials of the CBI are now analyzing the AIIMS viscera and autopsy examination, as well as other available evidence to conclude if Sushant was killed or if it was a case of suicide. The CBI took over the SSR death case on August 25th. However, with the probe and entire focus shifting to the narco angle, the family of Sushant Singh Rajput questioned the delay in the probe. However, the CBI has denied the charge, saying that it's been conducting a professional investigation in which all aspects are being looked into. Sushant's lawyer, Deepika Singh, meanwhile, has said that if the sisters of the late actor are summoned, they will cooperate and will join the probe. Sushant's friends, meanwhile, will go on a hunger strike this week from 2nd October, that's on Gandhi Jayanti, to seek justice for the late actor.
सीबीआई जो है अभी केस को मतलब सॉल्व नहीं कर पा रही, क्योंकि अभी एनसीबी जितना अपडेट हो रहा है वो दे रही है, सीबीआई अभी तक कुछ नहीं कर रही है। तब से मतलब जैसे जो क्राइम सीन में था वो उससे पूछताछ करनी चाहिए, बट उससे अभी कुछ कर ही नहीं रहे, आराम से बैठे हुए हैं। तो इसीलिए हम लोग आवाज उठा रहे हैं, भूख हड़ताल की कोशिश कर।
And also listen in to what Sushant's family lawyer has said on the CBI probe delay.
Mr. Manashinde also asked very important questions, Mr. Vikas Singh, about how suddenly, after having demanded that there be a CBI probe, the family of Sushant Singh Rajput seems to have lost faith in the CBI, and you're raising questions about the CBI. He says, Rhea Chakravarti, his client, has never once questioned either the CBI or the courts. Why is it that your client, Mr. Vikas Singh, has suddenly lost all faith in the CBI, or at least you're questioning the delay of the CBI? What's your problem with the CBI's probe, Mr. Vikas Singh?
Well, Rahul, now that the question of CBI is concerned, in fact, Mr. Manashinde's client was, saying openly that she wanted a CBI probe, but when the matter was argued in the Supreme Court, her lawyer never once conceded that it should go to the CBI, never once. I don't know whether Mr. Manashinde was tuned in for that hearing or not, but he never once conceded that this. So that's the real double standard. As far as we are concerned, we didn't want CBI initially for the simple reason that we thought that in so many important cases that CBI is handling, our case will get lost. But when the Patna police was obstructed from investigating, we realized that probably we don't have a choice, so we have to go to the CBI. Now our original fear appears to be coming true, that in our case is getting lost in the CBI, because suddenly our case has got very low priority, and priority is shifted to other cases. So that's a completely consistent stand, Rahul, unlike the stand of Mr. Manashinde's client. So please don't try to put it the other way. I'm only wanting the truth for my clients. So if there is no murder, supposing if there is no murder, although that question does not arise today because the meeting between CBI and the forensic team has not yet taken place, and that is the real grievance, that why is that meeting not taking place? It's only after that meeting that they will be able to take a call whether it is murder or abetment to suicide. But even if it is not murder, abetment to suicide, case will definitely continue. And for that also, the fast track will have to take place of according to me, custodial interrogation of the players, and that is getting delayed.
For the last few weeks, there's one question which everyone's asking. What happened to the investigation in the SSR death case? Well, the family of the late actor too is accusing CBI of delaying the investigation. The agency, however, says that all aspects of the case are still being looked at and that the investigation is very much underway.
Suicide, movie mafia, murder, money laundering, drugs. Nearly 3 months after Sushant Singh Rajput's death, the case and the investigation has changed several directors. The prime accused in the case, Rhea Chakravarti, charged with abetment to suicide, is in jail on drug charges. The CBI, which was handed over the case on 19th August, is yet to conclude its probe. All eyes are now on the AIIMS medical report that has studied that late actor's viscera and the pictures of his body to find out if Sushant Singh Rajput died by suicide or if he was murdered. The AIIMS team led by Dr. Sudhir Gupta has studied the ligature marks on Sushant's neck, his postmortem and viscera reports and the crime scene reconstruction details. It is medical team report that will answer whether Sushant hanged himself or did someone strangulate him. But the delay in investigation seems to be frustrating the actor's family. Sushant's sister, Shweta Singh Kirti, took to Twitter and asked when will the truth be out. Sushant's family lawyer on Friday questioned the CBI investigation and made a sensational claim that a doctor who is part of the AIIMS team had told him long ago that photos of Sushant's body indicated that he was strangulated.
Now, a senior doctor of AIIMS, seeing the picture himself, makes a statement that this is 200% death by strangulation and not, it can't be death of us, it can't be a suicidal death at all.
However, Vikas Singh's claims have been dismissed by head of AIIMS panel. Dr. Sudhir Gupta has said the lawyer's claims are incorrect. He says that the investigation is still going on and nothing can be concluded by just seeing the ligature marks.
एक हफ्ते से सीबीआई टीम यहाँ आके दिल्ली आके बैठी हुई है और एम्स की टीम यहाँ बैठ करके वेट कर रही है उनकी मीटिंग की और आज तक मीटिंग नहीं हो रही, तो कहीं ना कहीं एक डिले करने का बड़ा एक गंभीर समस्या इसमें उठ रहा है जिसके लिए परिवार बहुत चिंतित है.
The CBI on its part has clarified that it is conducting a professional investigation in the Sushant Singh Rajput death case. CBI maintains that no aspect, including the murder angle, has been ruled out as of date and that the probe is continuing. The focus of the Sushant death mystery seems to have now shifted from murder probe to drug trail, with top Bollywood stars being summoned by the Narcotics Control Bureau. The actor's family lawyer says the drug angle is derailing the probe.
अक्यूज्ड के कहने से किसी का नाम अगर जोड़ा नहीं जा सकता इतने आसानी से, अक्यूज्ड तो 10 आदमी को बदनाम करना चाहेगी, इसलिए अक्यूज्ड तो कुछ भी बोल दे, उस अक्यूज्ड के बोलने को तो कोर्ट नहीं मान सकता, ना उसको प्रोसिक्यूशन को मानना चाहिए. तो इसलिए मेरे हिसाब से जो दिशा जा रही है इस इन्वेस्टिगेशन की, वो दिशा जरा घबराने वाली है परिवार के लिए.
What happened to the Justice for SSR campaign that swept the nation after the actor's death? Has the focus of the case shifted? Will the truth about Sushant's death mystery ever be revealed? India awaits answers to these questions. Bureau Report, India Today.
Another big story we're tracking this morning is that the Bombay High Court will today be hearing the bail plea of Rhea Chakrabarti and her brother Shouvik. Both are in judicial custody for their link in the Sushant Singh Rajput case, the drug link in specific. Rhea, in her bail plea, which will come up for hearing today, has claimed a witch hunt by the probe agencies and said that the CBI and ED have found no evidence against her. She's claimed that Sushant Singh Rajput was the sole drug consumer and that he used his staff for procuring the drugs. In its arguments against Rhea's bail, the NCB claimed that Rhea was involved in financing illicit drug trafficking. In fact, they've said that Rhea knew that Sushant consumed drugs and concealed the same information. NCB has also claimed that Rhea used her house as for the storage and for the consumption of drugs. The Narcotics Control Bureau has also claimed that Rhea had full knowledge of the drug deals of her brother Shouvik. India Today has also exclusively accessed details of Deepika's grilling by the NCB. During her questioning, Deepika denied taking any drugs and rebutted her October 2017 Mal chat, saying that they were mere code words for something else. Deepika claimed that Mal in her chats meant cigarettes, whereas hash was a code word for slim cigarettes. She went on to say that weed was a code word for thick cigarettes and doob just another code word for cigarettes. NCB sources told India Today that Deepika and her manager for Quan, Karishma, said the exact same thing, making NCB believe that both were tutored before the grilling. And as far as the Bollywood drug probe is concerned, Karan Johar's former employee Kshitij Prasad, who is in the custody of the Narcotics Control Bureau, has alleged that he is being tortured and being forced to implicate the filmmaker. This as a forensic investigation of Karan Johar's now infamous 2019 video has been conducted.
The Narcotics Control Bureau's hunt for Bollywood drug racketeers has come under a cloud after one of the suspects has alleged a witch hunt. Kshitij Prasad, a former employee of Dharma Productions, has made an explosive claim. Prasad alleges he was being pressurized to name Karan Johar.
According to what he told us through his wife on the first day, he was humiliated, he was harassed, he was threatened of arrest.
Prasad, who is in the NCB's custody till the 3rd of October, in his statement to the magistrate, also alleges he suffered third-degree torture. He claims NCB officer Sameer Wankhede kept his shoe near his face, telling him that that was what he's worth. The NCB officer has rejected the allegations.
Sir, Kshitij said that there was third-degree torture given to him. And all that. How do you say?
We are a very professional agency. We do not believe in all such things.
So you completely. And they're also saying that those things seized were not ganja or cigarette butts. How do you see that, sir?
Again, I'm repeating, we are a very professional agency.
Kshitij Prasad, who was working as executive producer with Karan Johar's company, Dharma Production, came under the radar of Narcotics Control Bureau after disclosures made by 3 arrested drug peddlers. Karamjeet, Sanket Patel and Ankush Arneja during their interrogation told NCB that Kshitij had brought drugs from them on multiple occasions. Based on this disclosure, Kshitij's house was searched and he was brought to the NCB office, after which he was questioned and placed under arrest on the next day. During interrogation, Kshitij's phone was also checked and NCB officials found chat messages of Kshitij where he was communicating with drug peddlers asking for hashish and MDMA.
Sources tell India Today that the forensic report on Karan Johar's 2019 video of a party is now with the NCB. The report, according to sources, says the video is authentic and not doctored. The video features the big names of Bollywood like Deepika Padukone, Ranbir Kapoor and Shahid Kapoor. So far, the NCB has not indicated that it will act against anyone on the basis of that video. With Divyesh Singh in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Amid protests in several parts of the country over the contentious farm laws, politics is intensifying as the Congress High Command has now stepped up the ante against the Modi government. Sonia Gandhi has asked Congress-ruled states to bypass the centre's law on farmers using Article 254(2) of the Constitution that enables states to negate the centre's agricultural reforms. Congress Chief Sonia Gandhi said that this article states legislature will be able to bypass the unacceptable anti-farmer provisions in the 3 agricultural laws. The new farm laws have attracted a lot of flack from the opposition. While the government claims that these reforms will provide barrier-free trade, many fear that these laws will actually translate to the phasing out of minimum support price and kill the traditional grain market system, and also it will be the small and marginal farmers who will suffer. Now, we've also seen, of course, a lot of protests happening over these controversial farm reforms. We've also seen farmers refusing to budge as protests were held in several states against the Modi government. Protesters have referred to this reform as anti-farmer. Congress, eyeing a comeback impulse, has been vehemently opposing the farm laws.
Farmers in several parts of the country are on the war path against the contentious farm bills. And now these protests have reached the national capital. The protests in Delhi turned ugly after suspected Congress workers set a tractor on fire near India Gate. A political war of words soon followed.
आज तक जनता ने आंदोलन देखे, लेकिन ट्रक में से ट्रैक्टर लाकर वो इंडिया गेट के पास जलाना, ये कांग्रेस का नाटक है, इसकी हम भर्त्सना करते हैं।
अगर मेरा ट्रैक्टर है, मैं फूकना चाहूँ दोनों की तकलीफ है।
Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh himself sat on a symbolic protest in the ancestral village of freedom fighter Shahid Bhagat Singh.
We are going to the Supreme Court क्योंकि ये साडा agriculture is a state subject, वो साडा फैसला सी under the act and the constitution. Constitution ने सारे को दी थी और ये बगैर सानू पूछे ये करना, this is totally unconstitutional जो करना हुई है.
Protests have spread from Punjab and Haryana to other parts of the country. A statewide bandh was observed across Karnataka by pro-farm organizations.
We are continuingly the protest. Today also Karnataka bandh, called the Karnataka bandh. All over Karnataka bandh is successful against that bill. Next, continue October 2, we are planning to hunger strike one day.
Karnataka Congress Chief D.K. Shivakumar and Congress's Randeep Surjewala met the farmers to extend their support.
जब किसान और खेत मजदूर अंगड़ाई लेता है तो इस देश की सत्ता बदलती है, इस देश का सिंहासन डोलता है। मोदी जी तैयार हो जाइए, अब किसान और खेत मजदूर आता है, सिंहासन खाली करो।
With Anand Patel, Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, Lok Jan Shakti Party leader Chirag Paswan is ready to fight the Bihar elections alone if the party's seat-sharing proposals are not agreed by the BJP-led NDA. According to sources, Paswan wants to contest on 42 seats at the upcoming Bihar polls. Chirag Paswan argued that in 2014, his party contested 6 assembly seats for 1 Lok Sabha seat, thus contesting a total of 42 assembly seats. Similarly, in 2019, LJP contested 6 Lok Sabha seats and got 1 Rajya Sabha seat as well. This is the equation that Paswan has put forward and proposed to the NDA. Chirag Paswan has reportedly written letters to Prime Minister Modi, to Home Minister Amit Shah and BJP President JP Nadda. Reportedly, the BJP has assured Paswan of a fair seat distribution as well. Bangalore beat Mumbai Indians in a super over thriller. Both the teams scored 201 in 20 overs. Mumbai needed 90 runs of the last 5 overs. Ishan Kishan and Kieran Pollard kept the match alive with some sensational hitting. 19 runs were needed of the final over. Ishan was dismissed for 99 off the penultimate delivery. With 5 needed, Pollard struck a boundary and took the game to a super over. Mumbai were restricted to just 7 by Navdeep Saini in the super over. Jasprit Bumrah too made it tough for Bangalore with 1 needed of the final delivery. Virat Kohli hit a boundary to take his team home. And what's expected tonight? Well, an in-form Delhi Capitals will take on Sunrisers Hyderabad. That's match 11 of the IPL. Delhi's in red-hot form and will be eyeing the 3rd straight win. Shreyas Iyer's men have impressed with both bat and ball. Hyderabad, on the other hand, are searching for their first win. The middle order has been a concern for SRH. Kane Williamson is all set to make his first appearance of the season for the Orange Army. Abu Dhabi will host the tie. Action kickstarts at 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Hyderabad have lost 2 out of 2 and will look to open their account finally.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.